Okay, I'm back out here in my shop this morning, and I'm going to try to finish up a project that I started some time ago. Uh, this is one where I cut a few parts. I kind of designed it and then cut a few parts and got sidetracked and put it off to the side. And now that it's spring, and I'm going to try to finish it up. But it's kind of sprucing up my mailbox. I have just a very plain mailbox. It's probably my guess is it's probably the ugliest one on the street here. And I thought, well, maybe I could do something to kind of fix it up. And I looked around, I saw some really cool ideas for mailboxes. There's one where you have the fire truck and an old pickup truck, and I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of different types of mailbox things that people build. But I kind of want to design one like a tractor. So I'm going to show you a picture here. I know you probably won't be able to see it too good on this screen, and I'll show a picture here. But this is something that I modeled up. You can see I've got the mailbox modeled up, and it's basically kind of looking like an old John Deere tractor. And I've already got some of the parts cut. I've got the steering wheel cut right here. Made that using my CNC machine. I've cut some of this is the what's going to be the rear wheel. I'm actually going to make another half. You can see I've kind of got this rounded over on one side, so I'm going to make another half and glue that to give this wheel some thickness. And you can see the detail there I did on using my CNC machine. I even put some lugs and lug nuts on this thing. Some other parts here. This is like the inner fender that I guess you can't really see it. It's kind of right back here. And then this is just cutting some strips of 3/4 plywood, and then this will get glued on here to create the fenders. And a couple of cross pieces, and to fasten that too. And using mainly the mailbox as the main body, and pretty much you got yourself a tractor mailbox. So that's what I'm going to try to finish up today. I've got two halves of the rear wheel, so I've got to cut two more of those. I've got to cut 4 halves of the front wheel, which is basically the same thing, just a little smaller, and just a few other odds and ends, and then I'll be ready to finish this thing. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, and I'll keep the video rolling as the progress happens. Okay, I thought I'd show you this step here. For these large, I misspoken earlier when I said that I had 2 of the larger ones done and had to cut the small ones. These are actually the small ones, and I have to cut the big ones. And I'm trying to, once again, I'm trying to utilize some of the scrap that I have. I have a whole bunch of this 3/8 plywood. So what I've done is I've used my CNC machine to cut myself a template, and I put a 1/4 inch hole right in the center of it with the CNC machine. Then I laid this pattern on some of this plywood, because now that it's 3/8, I'm going to have to put like 4 pieces together to make the rear tires. So that means I need a total of 8. So what I've done, I used my template, I laid it out on the plywood, drew the circle, then I used the bandsaw to cut out the circles, cutting outside the line. And then what I'm doing is putting this pattern on, making sure that it's centered, and then I'm match drilling this 1/4 inch hole, and then I'm using just a 1/4 inch drill bit stuck down in there to hold it in place, and then I'm using a flush trim bit or a pattern bit, if you will, to make these other round circles for the back tires. And then I can figure out how I'm going to put the inside rim look and all that on there. So, but there was just so many of them to make, and I'm trying to utilize this 3/8 plywood up because I've got so much of it sitting around that I decided it'd be faster instead of trying to laminate them all up and then cut them on the CNC, just to cut them out with a bandsaw and flush trim them like this. So just wanted to take a minute to show you this step of the process here. Okay, I got my big tractor wheels all glued up. What I did is I went ahead and glued up all 4 of the 3/8 circles, and I just kind of glued them up since I it transferred that 1/4 inch hole. I just stuck a 1/4 inch drill bit to try to get them lined up good while I'm clamping them, and then once they get dried good, I'll run them around the pattern bed again too, just to get them all nice and smooth around the edges here. But you can see now that now that I've glued these together, this is the smaller front wheel, and now these are all the same width. And since I've got this 1/4 inch hole right here in the center, I can put this back on here now, put my clamps on my CNC machine out here where it's not going to hit, and use that as my 0 point, and I can still come in and mill in all this detail like I did on the smaller one, where it's got the lugs and the lug nuts and stuff like that on it. So I can still get all that done, and then after that I'll be ready to glue up the rest of the thing and make a tractor out of this stuff. So. Okay, I just finished working on milling out one side of my big tractor wheel here. It's ready to flip over. You can do the other side, and it worked out pretty good. Looks like a couple of the lugs broke up. It's some plywood, but I can glue those back on. Anyway, there's the one of the rear tires, and I've got to flip it over and mill a pocket on this other side, and then do the other wheel, and we'll be ready to start doing some assembly on this. Okay, I've got all my parts cut for my tractor mailbox, and the next step is going to be to paint some of it before I assemble it together. I've still got to go pull my mailbox off my post, and I'm going to try to sand it down a little bit. There's some rusty spots on it and stuff, and you know, I've got to get it painted up. And I've got my basic frame all ready, and let me show that to you. This is the basic frame. The mailbox will set right here, the front tires will go right there, and then the back tires will go right here, and then I've got a hole drilled for where I'm going to mount my seat. So that's the basic frame. And another thing I did, I made these little round circles, and the reason I made these is because, as you can see, this is like one of the front tires. So I'm going to paint the inside in here, which will be the rim. I'm going to paint that yellow, and then of course I've got to paint the tire black. So what I did is I made a little circle, because I'm going to paint the yellow first, and then I'm going to use this to set it on there to try to mask it off, and then I can spray the black and then do the same thing on the reverse side. And that way maybe I can do a neater job of painting and not get the yellow into the black there. But anyway, that's probably going to wrap it up for this video. I guess we'll call this part 1 of the tractor mailbox, because you know, the next step's going to be painting, and nobody likes to watch paint dry. So I'm going to go ahead and get it painted, and then when I get it all done painted, I'll probably put some spar urethane on it as well, since it's going to be out in the weather. But I'll shoot some more video when it's all done, and when I get it mounted out there at the street, and hopefully it'll look good. So thanks for all the new subscribers. I appreciate you all watching my videos, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And watch out for some future videos. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I've got to build a stand for my drill press, and a lot of things here because of my new shop. So I've got a lot going on. So there'll be lots of new videos coming. So come back and check those out. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, and thanks for watching.